All right, so hello everyone, good morning, sir and everyone. So today I would like to explain about my um, title proposal. So my title proposal is about an analysis of code mixing and code switching on podcast Bella channel. So it is created for me, Andika Dwi Aryansyah, with student number name student number 191-202-1106. Right, so here the three topics that I would like to discuss. The first one is about the introduction that explain about background, objectives, problem, and significance of the study. And then for the literature review, it's explain about several topics. And then the last one is about methodology that explain about research design, method, and etc. All right, so the first topics about the introduction. So the background of the study is from Hans Montejulo and Herman in 2019, page 29, state that language is as the tool of communication that has essential part in making communication. So language is very important for people because by language people will know each other and understand what is being said and or being thought, their words and ideas. And then from the problem of the study, I found three problems that I would like to discuss. So the first one is podcast was one of the popular audio talk show in Indonesia. And then the second one, Cinta Laura and Asha Corbusier used more than one languages in that podcast. So and then the third one is Cinta Laura and Asha Corbusier use various types of code mixing and code switching in podcast Bella ID. So here my study objectives of the study. So the first one is to identify the types of code mixing and code switching used by Cinta Laura and Aska Corbusier in Coil ID channel. And then the second one to find out the types of code mixing and code switching that were frequently used by Cinta Laura and Aska Corbusier in Coil ID. For the significance of the study, so theoretically, this research is hoped to be able to increase the development of an understanding of language learning, especially in the field of the social linguistics. Particularly for students, this research is hoped to understand about social linguistics knowledge, especially in bilingual speech in code switching and code mixing, and also can apply into their daily activities or learning situation throughout conversation so that they can improve their speaking ability. For the literature review, this study will explain several topics about the first one, social linguistic from Wardo in 1989. The second one is talk about bilingualism. The third one is about code mixing, code switching, and also the types of the code mixing and code switching. And then the next is about podcast. And then the last discuss about the related study of the code mixing and code switching. So the next is about the last topic, that is methodology. The first one is research design. So in this study, the researcher used descriptive qualitative research because in this research, the observer collected the data, made an analysis, and made a conclusion. So from Moleov he stated that qualitative research is a research procedure that produces descriptive data, where the available data is obtained through written or oral words from people and their behavior. Then from the results of the data collected will be examined. And then the second one is about the research method. So in this research, documentation method is used for collecting the data from the source, from the research subject. The subject of this research is speech of Junta Laura and Asa Corbusier, which contains code switching and code mixing. And then the next is about research instrument. So the researchers here is the main instrument, and also it needed support instrument, things such as book, pen, notes, mobile phone, and laptop. For the data collection method, so here the steps or procedure for collecting the data. So the first one, the researcher watched the full video time in several times, and then the researcher typed the transcript of the utterance on the video using the instruments such as note and pen or laptop throughout the document file. And then the next, the researcher identified the code switching and code mixing by reading the transcript that had been done in the note. And then the researcher will gathering of the data that had identified before. And then the last, the researcher classified the data followed by explanation based on the form of the types of code switching and code mixing. And then the last one is about the data analysis. So for Miles and Haberman in 1994, page 94 suggests that qualitative data analysis consists of three procedures. The first one is the data reduction, and then the second one is data display, and the third one is conclusion drawing. So I think that's all for my explanation about my title proposal. So that's all. Thank you, sir and FM, for your attention.